Do not adjust your monitor. This is what we really look like.
Oh, that's a scary
Hey, freaks
thought.
and geeks. Yeah. We are back, and we have a special guest that's going to join us in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to run through the basic run-through for those of you that have watched this webcast before. You know what's coming. Number one, subscribe. I still haven't figured out where the subscribe button is going to be, but I'm going to stick it up here somewhere. We are going to be talking about two major things tonight. Number one, us going back to the Orlando, or actually it's the Orange County Convention Center. Is that what it's called, Mike?
Yes. Yep. Orange County
Okay.
Convention
I always
Center.
confuse that. Okay, Orange County Convention Center. We're moving there in October, which we're going to get to in a second. And we're going to run through stuff at the Hyatt, which is going to be the host hotel. If you look in the description box below on YouTube, which will be available on the replay, I've put a bunch of links to our past episodes and specific benchmarks where we talk about parking, because I know there's been questions about parking, the rate of 119. We talk about, there's a walkthrough of the Hyatt reviews, everything that you want to know, where to eat, the pedicabs. There's tons of links down here, so we don't have to repeat that information, and you guys can peruse it at your leisure. I'm also going to put a link to the playlist of our past episodes. Again, the finger dance up here somewhere. So now that we've run through all that, hi, Mike.
Hello.
Yeah, and so how are you, Mike?
Good. Good and tired, but good.
Yeah. Now, just FYI, everybody, if you are watching us on Google Hangouts, there's the Q&A button, which I believe that's over here. There's like a little box thing up here. When you click that, there's the Q&A. If there's a question that you have, he's going to be monitoring the questions, so we will have the Q&A going the whole time. And we got Robby. Hi, Robby.
Hi.
You're the man? Is that what that shirt says?
It says, I am the way.
Oh, I am the way. Okay. Boobs.
Woo!
Ah! Boobs. Fuck the Bragley. It's just boobs. And yes, that is the one big announcement that Spooky has made. They made it at Spooky Empire Retro. Doug Bradley of Hellraiser fame. He's going to be one of the big headliners at Spooky. So that's majorly exciting. One of the first things, let's see, what did I want to bring up? A couple of questions that I saw immediately, kind of 101 questions, but we're going to address them real quick before we bring in our special guest. Is there a deposit required at the time reservation is made? Because everyone's making their reservations now. Robby knows the answer to that.
There indeed is not a deposit, but you do have to leave your credit card information.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you guys, that's important. So yeah, you don't have to pay, as you know, they're not going to take anything right out, but they are going to require a credit card.
Yeah, and I know that for this hotel, some hotels give you 48 hours in order to cancel it, but this one gives you 72. So you have to do it prior to 72 hours, otherwise they charge you the rate of, like, I think half of whatever the stay is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay. One of the other questions I saw, someone said 119. That's about a $20 increase from the usual rate of $99. Now,
You know, it hasn't been 99 for a while, and anyone that's been going for a while knows this and understands this.
yeah,
And
if
trust me,
you've been
it's
in the
well
past
worth it.
couple years, and that's the whole thing. This is not a $99 hotel. Okay, 119 is a hell of a deal considering everything that you get. Check out the links in the description box. I'm saying when you get a walkthrough of the Hyatt, you'll see exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Also, and I saw this asked a couple of times, which I was pretty surprised about. Do we have to get a room there, or can we go to a different hotel? Because people don't understand what a host hotel is. That's the hotel that Spooky has to deal with. There'll probably be after parties there, which we'll get to. But no, you can stay wherever the hell you want. You can sleep in your car. You can go to the Motel 6 down the street. You can go wherever the hell you want. You don't have to stay in the hotel. You can sleep in the convention center for all we care. So I don't know why
don't let us see you do it, because we are going to make fun of you.
Yeah, exactly.
I will make fun of you.
Damn
Wake
straight.
up without eyebrows and shit.
That's fun. Oh, that's what we could do. Anyone that's in like the convention center after like midnight and camping out, oh yeah, we're coming for you. Sleepy Convention Center, but we're coming for you. One of the other thing that I wanted to address before we brought our special guest in, and I wanted Mike to talk about this. We were talking about pet policies of the Orlando Convention Center.
Yeah. Here's the thing with that. Pets as a whole in most venues are not allowed. Service animals, on the other hand, are allowed, and that's something that is actually Florida statute, Florida law, that a service animal is allowed. The venue does, however, have the right to ask that person to leave if their service animal is causing a disturbance. So just because you have a service animal, don't think that you get free pass. It doesn't work that way. You are allowed in. You are allowed to, to take part and be fun with everybody else. But if your service animal does cause any type of disturbance, you got to go. And it's a liability issue. It's not because you're not wanted there. It's not because nobody likes you. It's not because people don't like your animal. Although there are some people that don't like dogs and don't like cats and snakes and birds and spiders. But if your service animal is causing a disturbance to the general area, the general populace and public, you're going to be asked to leave, and that's usually up to the venue or even the promoter. That's something that they have to make that decision on. So just be aware, if you do bring an animal, as long as it's not causing a disturbance, as long as it's part of the show, it's fine. As long as the venue allows it, it's fine. But be aware there are consequences to you bringing your animal there. So, like I said, it's not that we don't like you, don't want you there. Just understand that there are laws that have to be abided by.
Okay, now here's a question as far as that's concerned. Is there going to be a difference between the policy of the Hyatt Hotel and the Orange County Convention Center? I keep saying
Yeah, no, as far as the hotel goes, I know the hotel has been pet friendly, but small pet friendly. And these little teacup dogs and then so forth and so on. If I remember correctly, they do charge an additional $50 deposit per room if you have a small pet, and it's usually dogs only. As far as the convention center goes, let's be real here, people. If the convention center says you have to leave, you have to leave. Because there's a lot of places that just do not allow pets in unless it's a service animal, or unless it's part of the show. So, just remember, if you're bringing your pet, as long as the hotel allows it, which if I remember correctly, the Hyatt does.
Well, that's one thing. People should probably check with that beforehand, though. They should probably call the Hyatt beforehand to make sure what's up. Yeah,
and like I said, I know that. I know the Rosen did, and it was an additional deposit. And if I remember right, because I have a Boston Terrier. He's not a big dog, but he's not terribly small. We thought about bringing him. We just decided it wasn't going to be worth it, even with the additional price. So, no, you can't bring all 5 of your dogs.
Some people try to do that, though.
And yeah, somebody asked, "Damn, so I can't bring all 5 of my dogs?" No, you can't. No, you can't. Unless they're part of the show. Dress them up in costume, and that's part of your costume. That's a different story. But no, I would double check with the hotel just to be sure, because it is a resort hotel, and that's where they can. That's where they have their loophole. It being a resort hotel, you have a lot of people that travel in from out of state, from out of the country, that do bring their small pets with them. So. That's something you may want to double check on. But if I remember correctly, it is an additional $50 deposit for a small pet, dog only.
Okay, and one of the other things that, because there are service animals and there are therapy animals, which are 2 totally separate things.
Right.
And so that's something you may want to address real quick about that.
Yeah, and here's the thing with service animals, and this is another one of those Florida statutes. And it's not wide known, but their service animals technically do not have to have papers. They do not have to have a vest on them. And the problem with that is you could have someone coming up with, you know, a Great Dane, and oh, this is my service animal. Yeah, we're going to look at you and go, okay, you know, we understand it's a service animal, but we also understand that you might be trying to pull a fast one. As for a therapy animal, that's just an animal that in and of itself is, hence its name, therapeutic. It is something that will help calm you down, which
okay. One doesn't necessarily equate the other is the point.
Right. Yeah, it's not like sitting there stroking a kitty cat, calming your nerves, as opposed to walking around with it. Although the line does get blurred, and again, that's going to be
exactly, and which is one of the reasons I think I thought this needed to be addressed.
Yeah, and in that case, it will definitely be up to the venue to decide where they draw the line on that. So, if you do have a service animal and you bring it, just be aware that the venue, not necessarily the promoter, because he's still at the whim of the venue. If they say ixnay on the Augs Day, guess what? Can't bring your dog.
Speaking of promoters, I think we've been invaded. I don't know. There's some weird bearded guy that just joined the hangout. I think I've seen this guy before somewhere. I don't know. This guy looks a little familiar. I mean, anybody recognize this guy?
Oh yeah. The thing that you said about the dogs. Some venues you could pay extra money, so you could bring your dog. But it depends on the venue, like you were saying.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know if
there's service animals, the staff can ask you to leave if said animal is being disruptive, because if it's not trained, it's not a real service animal, especially in Florida. Yeah, you got to be careful with that one, because since they don't require papers and they don't require a vest, it's kind of hard to say if they're trained or not. So just kind of be careful with that one.
All right. Well, since Petey's here, there are some questions that obviously a lot of the fans have had, and I'm just going to jump right in and let the man speak for himself. First off, can you tell us why we went back to the Wyndham, and will we be going back there? And what did you think about Retro? Why did we go back there?
I wanted to go back to the Wyndham because we were having some problems with the Hyatt with the space. They didn't want to give us all the space we needed or wanted, and we had to share the space. So I was thinking maybe, all the fans wanted to go back to the Wyndham. Let me just give them a call and see if they want us back. As soon as I called, of course, they called me right back, and yes. They wanted us back and stuff. And then that was all the negotiation. But I just thought Retro, going back to the old roots, what the fans wanted, was it the right decision? I don't know. Gina didn't want to go back. She was like, why don't we just stay at the Hyatt? We love the Hyatt. The Hyatt's great. It's great working with the Hyatt. Very professional people working at the Hyatt. So we were like, but I wanted to do it. I was listening to the fans. And that's pretty much why I did it, because I was listening to the fans, and we went back. Are we going to do it again? I don't know. The Wyndham called us the other day. They want us back, but it's all about negotiations, and if the fans appreciate what we're doing there, it costs just as much money at the Wyndham as the Hyatt.
Okay.
Which is kind of ridiculous, and that's kind of like it's up to the Wyndham's negotiations if we come back or anything, what they're gonna let us have and what we're gonna do. It also depends on the fans. If we didn't sell out the entire hotel, which was shocking.
Very shocking.
The attendance was one of our lowest attendance we've had in years. So going back to the Wyndham maybe wasn't what everybody wanted. It was just a small group of us that wanted it, that I listened to.
The old school hardcore fans. That's very
And
true.
that's what it was for. And then when the people that complained, the new fans that complained about it, I tried to explain that, well, this was for the hardcore Spooky Empire fans, and they didn't get what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know? I think the original fans got it, and I think they had an amazing time.
Yeah.
I think it was a good show. You know?
I, for one, just sorry that I missed it. I kind of made a commitment to myself, which I'm upholding, but October is definitely the show to be at, so I will be there for that one.
And that's what we're getting into now. Like I said, I wanted Petey to have a chance to actually address any concerns anyone had or any questions as to why we went back to the Wyndham and what was up with retro, and so now you got it straight from the man himself. And one of the things he mentioned was negotiations, and that's one of the other big questions that I saw is why we actually moved from Halloween weekend to October 7th through 9th is actually when we're doing it this year. So, I mean, is there a reason that we got those particular dates?
It was the only weekend available in October.
So Spooky doesn't decide the dates?
No. I mean, we want certain dates, you know, like we never wanted to be on Halloween weekend either. We always like to do it like the weekend before Halloween. Because it's always like a cooler weekend, you know. It's right before Halloween and stuff. Halloween was kind of, you know, like a iffy thing because a lot of our fans couldn't make it to the show. But we did draw more people than we ever did. So we drew a lot of new people because it was Halloween weekend, you know. I mean, it's got its up and down, but I do not pick the weekend. And for me, I don't like it being in the beginning of the month because of advertising. It's hard to advertise a Halloween event in the beginning of the month when everything's going on at the end of the month. But there's less competition, so we'll see.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense. I honestly think the dates are fantastic because it kind of kicks off the whole Halloween season because a lot of us that go to Spooky very often, the whole month of October is a celebration, and this is just a way to kick it off, in my opinion. I mean, Mike, Robby, what do you guys think about it?
I would say look at it this way. For those who are NASCAR fans, race fans, NASCAR kicks off its season with probably the biggest race, the Daytona 500. So look at Spooky that way. You're kicking off the Halloween season with the best that there is to go around, and that's Spooky Empire. So just, I mean, look at it that way. That's personally how I would look at it.
Another good thing about it being in the month. Oh,
no, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing that's good about being in the beginning of the month is celebrities it's easier to get them to agree to come than Halloween weekend when everybody's busy. You know?
That's a good point.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, and prevent also it works out better because October is such a busy month for everyone, really. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for somebody that purchases things at Spooky Empire, I think at the beginning of the month is great because if you're going to buy certain maybe prosthetics or contacts or any costume pieces that you might need for the end of the month, you have that time to do it then.
Yeah.
That's true, too.
And then Halloween Horror Nights, go to Halloween Horror Nights and not be mobbed because that's
a good point.
Not crazy for Halloween Horror Nights either. So
that's actually a very good point.
Could have a good time at both shows.
That's true. That's very true. Is there going to be like because I know sometimes there's a dual deal, you know, a discount for Halloween Horror Nights, or there's kind of a marriage between the two events. Is there going to be something like that this year?
We haven't talked yet because we're just still trying to put the show together, and also I'm still learning about the convention center. So like what we can get away with, what we can't get away with, you know. So I'm still learning on that stuff, but you know, we're friendly with Halloween Horror Nights right now. So.
Okay, well then here's the big question. I mean, so why were you making the big move to the convention center?
Another thing because of the Hyatt. The Hyatt was moving our space around, and we don't have a fan base to sell out the entire hotel. Until we can sell out the entire hotel, they're not going to let us do whatever we want to do. So pretty much we would be sharing it with somebody else, and I don't really want to share it. So the Hyatt. I mean, it's hard to share our event with other events, you know, especially like a corporate event where everybody's in suit and ties and zombies walking by.
The Lamborghini convention. Enough said.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know, or a church rally or something like that. That's like the worst. But the convention center, it was the Hyatt's choice, and I didn't want to go because I thought the same way all these fans would think and go, oh my God, the convention center is so cold and it's just a box and everything. So I had a meeting with the convention center and they said, well, let's look at this room. And they showed me a room that looks like a hotel ballroom with carpet floors and the ceilings are lower and they had all the space so I could put everything all in one room. You know, not the film festival or all the Q&As or anything like that. That still has to be in separate rooms.
Mm-hmm.
But the tattooing,
Similar layout.
it's a similar layout we did at the Hyatt but bigger, with the celebrities, tattooing, and dealers all in the same room. So it's kind of cool. You know?
Okay. All right. So, I mean, do we know? So, which side? I mean, is it like the Hyatt side? Is it the Rosen side? Because I've heard conflicting reports on like which part of the convention center we're actually going to be using.
The West Hall.
It's
The West Hall, North Hall.
on the Rosen side.
Across
Oh, the Rosen side. Okay.
Yeah, the one across the street.
Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be. They're building a walkway from the Hyatt to that convention center.
I think there already is one. I know there's one going to the one off to the one side of it. And I think there is one that goes across International Drive also.
I know they said they were building. I don't know if it's going to be done before our show or it will be. But they started it. I think that's what they were talking to us about.
Okay. All right. Well, what can we expect for this show for October? I mean, what can we expect that's going to be different?
Different. That's what I mean, it's what's different. I don't know how different it's going to be. I mean, I think it's going to be a similar what we've always had. I haven't figured out where we're going to do the party yet. I know the convention center said they wanted the party.
Really?
Yeah. They said we can have music going all night. They can have bars until 2 o'clock in the morning. We can do everything at the convention center. The Hyatt said they want the party. So, yeah. So, it depends on who's going to give us the better deal, And
more lenience.
And more lenience, So.
I suppose that answers the next question because it says with increased size, with increased space, will there be new features, events? Does this allow Spooky to bring in more and more original guests? I guess that.
Of course, I mean that leaves us to getting bigger guests. I mean, I just found out the other day that Johnny Depp's going to start signing autographs. And
oh boy!
I was like losing my mind. I was like, you would never expect that.
No.
Johnny Depp's not going to the Wyndham. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So you have a better chance of getting him to a bigger place. So you have a better chance of getting better, celebrities to do it. The future, if I keep doing it at the convention center and it works at the convention center, there's more room. So eventually, I would love to bring in real bands, like a Def Leppard or a Kiss or someone big like that, and do those kind of events at the convention center because you could build arena style, atmosphere there, Yeah.
That was going to be the next question. Everyone keeps asking about when live bands are coming back.
When we get good ones. I mean, we get. I'm going to say it straight out. A lot of bands, I don't feel are good enough to play our show. I mean, they don't bring in enough people to watch them. Voltaire's great. He brings in a huge crowd when Voltaire plays. So that's awesome. But when you have a local band that doesn't promote themselves and there's only 10 people in front of them, I have to pay thousands of dollars for them to play.
Yeah.
Is it worth it for me to have a band that's not bringing in people? No. So, I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. You got to pay for insurance, you got to pay for lighting, you got to pay for sound. And then the bands think they should get paid, but they're not bringing any people in, But you have a band like Voltaire or the sax player from the Lost Boys, which
Tim Capello, yeah.
Yeah, that guy killed.
That absolutely rocked.
That guy actually, I swear to God, it was like a rock concert. Yeah, I was shocked. I was sitting there Saturday night looking around, I felt like I was at a rock concert. The guy brought in so many people.
I got chills, man. I was like, I couldn't believe. I took a picture, and it was just a sea of people, and I was like, wow, like this is what. If you want bands to play, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and Voltaire, and you know, that guy brought it, and that's what I would have. But when you're a local band, you're bringing 10 people in front of you. It's not really worth it. You know?
That makes sense. And that's something I guess a lot of people, and that's one of the reasons that we're really glad to have you on, because a lot of people don't understand what it takes behind the scenes. It's not just as simple as a phone call and just like, oh, okay, well, we're just going to have Johnny Depp show up. And it's not that simple. There's a lot going on that people, they get pissed and they get pissy and they piss and moan, but they don't really understand what goes into this, you know.
And also, I don't think people realize that if you really want these people there, you need to support it. You know, our last show, you know, who was the big guest at our last show? You had Alice Cooper. Mm-hmm. You had the what was it? The Godzilla guys killed it.
Oh yeah, they were amazing.
And then you had the Weird Science reunion that killed it, right?
Yep.
But then you had the Day of the Dead guys just sitting there, the horror guest. Mm-hmm. Well, if you want the horror guests, go get their autographs.
Yep. Everybody requesting, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and I saw them. They were all just sitting there.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Science reunion, like, packed, you know?
Yep.
So.
Okay. Is there anything you can tell us as far as what to expect with the tattoo area, Muckle Bones, car show, Halloween Extreme, all these things that we've come to know and love?
Well, I mean, the tattoo room, that's the main thing you're gonna see a big difference at the convention center, because it's growing. That's the one thing that's growing bigger than anything at our show is the tattooing. We'll probably have over 100 artists this time.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Massive. That's like, you know, bigger than anybody's ever done. The guy Josh, who's running the tattoo part, is like amazing. Probably one of the best things that we ever did was pick up this guy Josh, and he's made that part of the show grow and grow, which is amazing. I would like to see other parts of the show grow, but that's it. It just takes people to make it grow, and that's you know, like Munkle Bones. Like, I love Munkle Bones, and I think that was like one of my major features of the show that I like so much. But when you go in there, nobody's in there. It's kind of disappointing. Yeah. You know, there should be lines to get in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Muckle Bones is definitely one of the unsung heroes of this convention.
Yeah, you haven't seen my favorite part, and it's just so disappointing when you spend a lot of money, and he spent so much time putting that whole thing together, and you walk in there, and you could just walk right in there, no line or nothing, just walk in there, and no one appreciates it. Which that's the major thing that what I need to do is make sure that part of the show grows, and I don't know if it's a Florida thing, or it's just, you know, the people that come to our show are not focused enough on what we're doing. You know, like Halloween Extreme, I thought that was an amazing thing. The first year we did it at the Rosen, it blew up, and nobody cared. We got complaints, you know, like, oh. Really? And I was like, what do you mean you're complaining? This is what horror is about, the haunts and all that. So, I mean, people want that stuff.
Interesting. Mike, Robby, I know you're here. You have anything to interject here?
Yeah, I was going to say about the thing with Muckle Bones, and I absolutely love walking through there because that just fires me up. I'm like,
me too.
You know, I'm always asking, hey, can I take pictures? I was sure. I'm like, picture, and it gets me going. And like I said, God, I wish I could have been there this last time because I'm a huge Godzilla nerd and when I saw Ultraman, I about peed my pants. Yes, grown man gonna pee his pants over Ultraman.
Did you see the cake?
I did see. That's why I was so wanted to be there. I didn't get to see, but I got to see a lot of the pictures that were posted, and I was just living through everybody else, and I loved it. But for people to say, oh well, you know, they're looking for the horror, and what most people don't understand is it's more than that. It's a complete genre. It's not just horror. It's everything all encompassing. They have to be willing to be a part of it.
That's true.
You got to be able to go in there and go, oh look, the one display they had where they had all the different artists take one bust and turn it into
a live project. Yeah.
Yeah, that just blew my mind because it was the same bust, but everyone put their own spin on it, and no two things were alike, and that was fucking fantastic. I loved it.
But that did really well. That did have lines to get in.
Yeah.
So that was something that was really amazing, you know?
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that people, I don't think they understand that that kind of stuff is all a part of this. It's not just, oh, I want to go see
You're going to see Robert Englund, yeah.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that, but you also have to understand there's more to it than just, oh, I want to go see this person and this person. You want to be able to
it's all sensory.
experience everything that there is.
Yeah, exactly. Because in Muckle Bones, they even have the stuff that smells, and you walk in there and they have the fog, and they have, it's just a sensory experience in there, and then you come out and you have all the different aspects of Spooky Empire, and, you know, like Petey says, it's like, it's part of the whole thing, and just, I wish people appreciated that more, because it's disappointing hearing that people complain about Halloween Extreme. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, what Halloween's about.
All right, well, here's the thing. Here's all you watchers, what I want you, if you want Muckle Bones, if you want the car show, if you want all these fantastic projects, go and support them. Go to their Facebook page, man. Go and start, like, asking, promoting them, you know? Don't just ask on the Spooky thread and just leave it alone. Go like their page. Go follow their social media. Actually actively support them.
I picked this up when Halloween Extreme was at Spooky, and that was how long ago? A couple of years ago. I still have this from that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I got out of that. It was, oh my God, you know, airbrush kits, you know, how much it costs. And that's, I've got a shelf full of this stuff that, you know, my wife would like me to move some of it around, but
don't just ask for, don't make guest requests. I mean, actually support these things that you want to see at Spooky. That's, you want to take away from that.
That's a good point, what you just said. We do, like, contests on there. What's your favorite part of Spooky Empire? And 99% of the people write about these stupid guests. I shouldn't say stupid guests, but, you know, about the guest. And when I started doing the convention, I wanted it more to be than you go into a dealer room and meet a celebrity and that's it. That's what Florida was offering before I started doing a show. I mean, when you used to go to FX or MegaCon or any of those conventions, they didn't even have Q&As at the time.
Yep.
We were like the first, you know, convention to start doing all that stuff, and that's what was important to me. That it was more than just going to meet a celebrity. It was the experience of the whole weekend, and that's what I always wanted it to be. And that's why we always tried to bring in those other elements, which I still want to do. I just got to figure out the ones that work.
Yeah,
you know,
it is a matter of trial and error. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I guess we already answered this too. Are there certain hours of operation at the convention center? I mean, if they're willing to stay open till, like, you said they're willing to stay open till like 2 a.m. for the parties and stuff.
We can even go later than 2. We just can't have drinks. You know, drinks. You know, it's Orlando law that 2 o'clock is the last time you could serve drinks. So, but yeah, they said you could party all night there. You know.
Wow. Okay. I guess that
But
definitely
we're gonna
answers that.
check it all out, and but I still like the Hyatt's feel better. You know,
It's a hotel. Yeah.
we're still working out the details. There's a couple of things I want to do, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do it, but I want to do like a tournament with beer pong. You know, and you know, stuff that, like, there's more than just, you know, sitting around drinking. I want, like, some interactive stuff. That I thought the lip sync contest would have been cool. I wish more people would have entered it. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Maybe we'll do.
I'm in October. Consider me signed up right now.
You know, maybe we'll do like a guitar, you know, like air guitar contest and stuff like that. But
what about having, like, the pinball machines and the gaming machines in the party space?
That's hard to do because those things are expensive, and when people drink, they break things.
Right? Essentially.
Yeah, but I think it's open. That room's always open late.
Yeah.
So you can go.
I know it was last year because I went in there a couple of different times.
Yeah.
And it was open.
And that's definitely coming back. You know.
Good. Oh, good.
Back, yeah.
Yeah, the free play arcade.
But I mean, there's things that I want to adjust to with the show. I know you guys were talking. First of all, I'm a big fan of what you're doing here, and I watch it every time.
Petey approved. We are officially Petey approved.
So I watch it all the time. But like last week, you were talking about like the costume contest, you know, and I've had problems with the costume contest since day one. You know, I'm still not happy with it. I'm never like really happy how it's working out with the judges and everything. I think one of the best shows I was happy with was when we had the face-off judges.
Yes, hands down.
It was like Tom Servini and you know, the two people from Face Off.
Yeah, like Glenn.
Glenn Hetrick.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the ones I was happy with the most. But I mean, I want to see better costumes. I mean, we give amazing prizes. I mean, we give big money. We give awesome guitars. Now we're giving the belt, the big wrestling belt. Which is
belt,
awesome,
yep.
You know.
I love that belt. I got my picture with that thing. I felt like a champ just for holding it.
Yeah, imagine winning it. I think it's cool. But like, you know, there's things like, you know, I wish the judges would pick better costumes, you know? I've never really been happy with some of the winners, you know?
Yep, I'm looking at Robby right there. I know Robby had some concerns that
Yeah, I feel like I know, and it must be so difficult. Like you said, you know, it's a growing pain because every year is going to be different and you learn something new. But I wish there was like a horror category completely on its own, besides, you know, being lumped into the craftsmanship or the other category. But just like because I feel like a lot of other people get.
But that should win. The horror character should win.
Yes.
Over something
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dino on the he just posted you could have like a ball scene from New York and have more categories where people can win and have smaller prizes for each.
Yeah,
which, you know,
but then you take away.
I don't like that. I like the bigger prizes, but like, all right, Dementia, you were a judge, you know, and how did that go? I know the person who won that year was horrible. You know, when you were a judge.
Who was? Was it the Monster High group?
Monster High group. It was like.
Yeah, that was out of my hands. That was because the other judges had kids. That was out of my hands.
So that's what I'm talking about. So you're on the panel with 3 people.
Yeah.
I know how it is behind the scenes with that, so you know how that works out.
Yeah, I do, and that's one of the things John and Eric had said this year. The pre-judges is their eyes were opened. It's like again, very much like Petey is saying. There are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that, you know, the general public is not aware of. It's not as superficial as you tend to think it is. It's not as easy. It's not just bam, bam, bam. There's a lot that goes on behind the tables that you guys don't know about. So, but all right, let's see what else we got here. With the move to a new con space that is physically detached from the party space, will the panels and events that typically happen at night, burlesque, midnight movies, etc., be held at the hotel or convention? I guess I'm getting the same questions over and over and over here, but I guess that's something we still don't know yet. It depends. I guess the Hyatt.
Well, no. I think you kind of
convention center. Yeah, we're going to be doing like the Rocky Horror and stuff at the convention center because that's where all the booths will be. You know, that's where all the the projectors and all that. They'll all be at the convention center. So yeah, we'll be having all that stuff, midnight showings. And that kind of stuff. I don't know about the party, actually. You know.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So that's the distinction.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I thought he said that things were going to be going on over there, but he was still trying to work out details of either the convention center or at the Hyatt because they both want it. So.
Okay. Yeah. No, then that's where they're having the cage fight over.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, geez. I guess, yeah, again, let's see. Well, we have bands playing at the hotel or convention center, Friday night, Saturday night parties. Okay, here's a good question. What does this mean for security? I mean, we know a lot of attendees were confused by the uptick in security last year at the Hyatt. We also know the convention center has security policies of its own that is apart from Spooky Empire. What can people expect given the change in venue? Well, I mean, I'll let Petey take this first.
Sure. Yeah, I'm actually not sure really yet because we're not there yet. It always happens the day before we go in. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
The Hyatt was it was crazy. It was going to actually be worse than what you've seen. Me and Alan were fighting with them 2 seconds before the doors open, saying you can't frisk these people, you know.
Yeah.
ZombieCon, ZombieCon. Someone got killed at ZombieCon like
Fort Myers, yep.
2 weeks before the show, and then somebody got killed at the Hyatt a week before our show. Got shot in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
If you don't, I'd like to kind of chime in on that one, only
Oh,
because
Mike, go ahead.
I have a different perspective on that now, given what my future profession is going to be.
Officer Mike.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't understand is that was actually really tame compared to what, like Petey was saying, what it could have been because of those instances. And here's something else that I found out: the convention center, they do have their own security people, but they also hire Orlando police as detail. So like at MegaCon, if you see Orlando cops walking around there, they're actually hired by the convention center to be there for that convention. Now, I don't know if they're going to do the same for Spooky, but that's
we've always had that. We've always. I don't know if you noticed. We always had police officers.
Yeah, and like I said, it's
walking around.
Yeah, I know that like I said, the convention center does that, and I'm actually finding out a whole lot more, with what I'm going through and finding out all this stuff. But what people need to understand is, given the way society is now, I wouldn't complain about it. I'm more than happy to say, hey, there's more guys here. That means I get to have a safe time, which brings up the whole airsoft gun thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, look, I carry.
Before we get into that, we were just at the Wyndham, and I actually had to hire some Orlando police officers to walk around the parties at nighttime. And they made us do it from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
With the police officers. It's just something that has to be done. We have drunk people walking around with machetes. We had people ODing in the bathroom, and they weren't even attendees of our show. But that's the problem we have is people that are not attendees of Spooky Empire are getting into our parties and causing problems. And, that's something we're trying to stop too.
Like I said, that's actually perfect, because like I said, people understand that from the times that I've been, which is quite a bit, every negative instance that I've heard has never been from someone that was actually attending Spooky. It's always been somebody that's come in on the outskirts. It's always the bad apples that kind of ruin it for everybody else. Always someone that's come in from the outside and is like, ooh, look, a party, let's go.
Probably have this year.
Let's go have fun and make fun of the weirdos. Look, hey, go. I ain't got time for that. I'm not ashamed to say it. That's what's been happening. And hats off to you, because not a lot of people would take the step that you took to do that, to make sure that the people at the con were safe. And I don't think they understand that that's the kind of thing you go through for them.
No, but I agree with you, Mike. I'd rather be safe and know that there's somebody there just in case, just because you never know.
Oh, yeah.
The problem we're having is the costuming. I don't want to, take that away from somebody. Like, if someone's dressed up as Leatherface, I want them to have a real chainsaw. I don't want them to have a fake chainsaw. So it's kind of like
fake chainsaw.
When you have a when you have a Jason walking around and he has a plastic machete, it's not really cool,
Yeah.
So just be responsible. That's the whole thing. Is be responsible.
I love
costumes, man, but
that's the key word, responsible.
Yeah, common sense ain't so common.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, but that actually brings up a good question. We see and hear about weapons issues at conventions more and more frequently nowadays. Does Spooky Empire have a weapons policy?
We're forced to have one. Yeah. We try our best to keep it more tamed than most conventions. I remember getting phone calls a couple of years ago, going, what's your weapon policy? I'm like, don't kill anybody. You know? We can't do that anymore. You know, I was like, just be responsible, you know? Like, don't kill anybody, dude. You know? Don't bring a real gun to the convention, you know?
But it's unfortunate that you actually have to say that, but nowadays you have to say that because that's...
And now that's what it made it happen because people aren't responsible and, you know, we have to, you know, everybody else suffers from it, you know?
Yeah, like the Popeyes incident at the Wyndham where we got SWAT team called in, you know, so...
How true is that story?
It's 100% true. I mean, there are a little few details that are changed here and there, but I mean, I actually talked to people that actually saw the entire incident. It was true.
Okay.
Well, here's the problem. The guy was walking across the street with an airsoft rifle. Somebody saw it. Somebody that wasn't at Spooky. They freaked out. They called the cops. The gun looked real.
Yeah, that's the story I heard.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and it's because of things like this. What, Robby?
No, I was saying you can't blame the public. You know what I mean? If you're a tourist and you're here on holiday and you see some, you know, a group of people walking down the street with these guns, I mean, what are you gonna think if you don't know the convention's happening?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I just saw the Q&A. Dino says I have to tell the story. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Okay. All right. Well, basically what had happened was there was someone that was dressed as someone from Resident Evil. You know, he had the Resident Evil umbrella gear on and everything. And he walked across the street from the convention into Popeyes. And apparently when he was walking across the street, and this is a heavy tourist area, he had an airsoft rifle, and I guess it didn't have the orange tip. It wasn't quote-unquote regulation. Somebody got nervous and apparently called the police. Or maybe it was the I don't know who it was. Maybe it was the Popeyes employees watching the guy walk in and they didn't know the Spooky was going on. Nowadays, you never know. Everyone's extremely sensitive to this sort of thing nowadays. And next thing you know, a couple of friends of mine were eating like lunch and they saw like the red dot. They actually had the assault rifles. They actually had the laser sights set on the guy from Resident Evil. And so they came in and I guess the whole thing got cleared up. And there's different stories about like exactly what happened afterwards, but they came in, they detained him, they confiscated the weapon, and it was a whole big misunderstanding. But yeah, SWAT team got called. And unfortunately, this is what happens nowadays, you know, at these conventions. Like Petey said, there was Fort Myers or somebody got shot. You know, it's not nearly as safe as it used to be. So unfortunately, you have to have these weapons policies in place. And you may bitch and moan, but it is for your safety. So there's the story there, as far as I know, allegedly.
And just realize if you're carrying anything like that, and trust me, I carry those things. If I'm in my Resident Evil costume, take it off before you leave, so you don't cause that kind of trouble. I mean, and that's that responsibility, common sense thing. You know, I have 2 pistols. I have a rifle, but that stuff does not go out into the street with me. It stays in my room if I want to go get something to eat. I'm not going up and down I Drive walking with what looks like, you know, an M4 rifle. You know, to the untrained eye, it looks like I'm, you know, some nutbag walking around ready to shoot the place up. So, you know, to save a lot of hassle and grief, leave it in your room. If you don't have a room, put it in your car. If you came with somebody, leave it there with someone you trust. Go get you something to eat, come back, have fun, you know, and keep going about it. Just remember, you know, the world is not what it used to be, and people are not as sane as they used to be. So, and like I said, I'm not saying don't bring your stuff because I have it. So I'm not saying, you know, that I'm better than anyone. I'm saying I do the same thing. Yeah. You know, it'd be different if I didn't have an airsoft and I wasn't, but I do, and I bring it with me. But I also leave it in my room if I'm going to get something to eat. I'll still have the rest of my costume on, but the guns stay in the room. Period.
Yeah. Again, start thinking. All right. Well, switching gears here for a second. All right. So, I mean, what kind of events, whole Spooky experience? Ideally, what would you like to bring back to Spooky? I mean, like the poker tournament is something I would love to see come back. You know, what are some of the things that we could possibly expect in October?
I would love to bring the poker tournament back too. We just got to get somebody to run it. That's the whole thing is staff. We're way understaffed. We're not drawing enough people to pay people what they want to be paid, or what they're worth. So I mean that's a whole thing about we need to get bigger attendance for everybody to understand that, you know, these shows, you know, the more people that come to the show, the more I can do. But bringing back stuff, I mean, I guess everything will be back. I mean, the retro show was a very simple show that we put together. And that's what it was only supposed to be. It was supposed to be a pool party, some celebrities, a vendor room, and all of us just getting together having a good time. That's all it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be everything else, you know?
The big extravaganza. Yeah.
It was old school convention. Kind of, you know, like, what was it? Conjure. What Conjure tried to do, Conjure tried to bring that old convention style back, but you need attendees to, you know.
And unfortunately, newer generations don't really understand the allure and the intimacy that we actually experience with a lot of these smaller conventions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the money needs to be there too, because hotels want more money.
Yes.
And everybody wants. There's more money. Everybody wants more money. It's not like back 10 years ago when you know, Bill Moseley was happy that somebody recognized him. You know. Yeah. Now they all want money. You know.
Yeah. Speaking of Bill Moseley and guests, I mean, the big confirmed guest now is Doug Bradley, right?
We haven't confirmed him as but
okay.
Yeah, he's coming. They haven't really announced him, but yeah, he's coming. Everybody's coming this year. It's going to be a lot of our regulars are all going to be there, and we're working on some big names. And
any hint?
I mean,
that's a no.
Yeah, I don't really want to throw it because, like, suppose it doesn't happen. You know?
I had to ask. I know people are going to ask, so I had to ask.
We were really close to getting a yes from this massive celebrity, and he just said no. And I was like, oh man, you know.
What a tease.
It would have been bigger than anybody could even imagine. And
okay, can you tell us who's not coming?
It wasn't Johnny Depp, no.
Because here's the thing, I knew the second he said Johnny Depp, the rumors were going to start, and Johnny Depp's coming to.
Oh my God! Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but
Johnny Depp's not out of the question. That's the whole thing.
Oh, see, now you just started it.
No, he's.
Johnny Depp has not said he's not coming.
Okay.
No, I mean, I doubt he's going to come this year. But he's not out of the question now. I mean, we just had Alice Cooper, and he did very, very well at our show.
That's true. Good.
For our attendance being so low, he said it was one of his best shows he ever did. So that helps. You know what I'm saying?
And aren't they in a band together now?
Say that again?
Hollywood Vampires. Yeah.
Well, that was where I was going at. Being at the convention center, and I'm not saying this year because I don't know if we could pull it all together and stuff, but having bands, we're allowed to bring in bands. And when you have a place that could fill a lot of people, you could have, you know, the Hollywood Vampires play. And that would be a way, and that's how Johnny Depp's doing these meet and greets now through the Vampires. You get to meet the band now, you know, meet and greets.
So here's something. If you guys want, like, you know, bands like Hollywood Vampires and Johnny Depp, you need to go to their page and you need to start contacting them and start telling them about Spooky Empire. Just FYI.
Because they don't always believe me. They believe the fans more than me. Yes.
Yeah. So don't just go on Spooky and say we want Johnny Depp. No, you need to go tell them. So
they need to come to Spooky. That's what they need to do.
Yeah. And wear the T-shirt. Wear the Spooky Empire T-shirt when you go out. You need to, like, you know.
Yes.
Hype up Spooky, you know, and that's how it works, man. The more people that know about the show, the more people that talk good about the show, the better it gets, you know.
All right, here's a question. Who are the most popular guest requests you get currently? Who do you hear about, like, I don't know, your top 3 or 4 or whatever?
Top 3 or 4. Of course, Robert England. He's like the #1 requested guest.
He's awesome.
He is. It just amazes me that people haven't met. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm jaded because I've been to like every spooky. So, but I mean, he's a great guest. Don't get me wrong, but he does so many of these. I'm shocked people haven't met him yet.
Yeah. You know what's funny? We don't get a lot of requests for Walking Dead people.
Good.
Well, they have
sorry. But anyway.
Like we get a lot of requests not to have Walking Dead people, and that's a kind of cool thing that I'm.
You know what? I think it's because they don't want to deal with the mob mentality for the Walking Dead people.
Yeah. Well, that and they're going to be a megaton or whatever.
You know. Oh, Lana's the number one. If we get a billion requests a day for Lana from Once Upon a Time.
Really?
Non-stop.
Wow.
They are the hardcore fans.
That's shocking.
You know.
I'm putting my personal bid in for Kevin Grievous, the man behind the Underworld series, I, Vampire, many graphic novels. You know, that's my personal bid. Kevin Grievous.
Very cool, guys.
Okay. Let's see. What can you tell us as far as parking and costs? I mean, like as far as the convention center and Hyatt, and I mean, is there anything you know yet as far as parking?
No.
Do we get a discount?
There'll be a discount. There'll be a discount at the Hyatt for spooky people, and then the convention center will probably give us a discount rate for certain people. But that all goes to discount.
Okay, that's still far in the future. Okay. Okay. And this is someone else asked me this. Will the spring show also be in the convention center, or
no.
We don't know yet?
No, that will probably not happen. Just because it's not big enough, and it's never gonna be big enough.
Okay.
It's just for some reason the spring show just never takes off. We were at a point where we were thinking about just canceling it completely. Like this was going to be our last show, But if the Wyndham gives us a good deal, then we'll go back. I'd really rather not do it at the DoubleTree again. I was always embarrassed by those shows.
Yeah, no, the Spooky's better than the DoubleTree. I agree.
Yeah, the DoubleTree shows always remind me of like a high school auditorium, and I was always embarrassed by those shows.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I love the Hyatt, and if we could sell more hotel rooms and more tickets, of course I would love to do more stuff at the Hyatt because it gave like a Dragon Con feel.
That's true.
And I think for costuming, it was really good because you had that. It was air conditioned. And you had that big open area where you could actually have a beautiful costume and people could take pictures of you instead of like being at the Wyndham where you're in a small hallway. If you have a big costume, you're getting bumped around.
That's true. That's very true. No, that's actually a really good point.
Question: do they accept Bitcoin? I'm assuming that question is for the hotel. I honestly don't know. We can check in.
I don't know anything about Bitcoin.
No.
It's like online currency.
It's like Apple Pay, that kind of
stuff.
stuff.
We don't do that. No.
It's 11 o'clock.
Okay. The other question, and if you guys have questions and you're in the Q&A, by all means ask now because this is the last one I have, and this is not necessarily my question, but I had 3 people that asked me this, and will Elvira ever return?
Like I said before, everybody's coming this year. all our regulars are coming.
Yay!
Okay. They're all contacting us little by little. They're all coming back. Everybody's excited about the convention center. Everybody, some of our bigger names that did our show in the past that come, every couple of years. They're real excited about the convention center and seeing what we do. Because no horror convention has ever done that. They never went to that level. They're all usually small hotel conventions, and that's what a horror convention is. The issue I'm gonna have, just what my thing is gonna be is how to make the convention center different than your experience when you go to a Comic-Con. I don't want that experience. I don't want you guys to have that experience. So that's going to be what I'm going to be working on in the next couple of months to make sure when you walk into the convention center, you go, oh my God, this is Spooky Empire. Not, oh my God, this is just like every other Comic-Con. Those corporate Comic-Cons are just, they're lame. And I never wanted to be that. And I hope our show doesn't turn into that. That's one thing.
I'm really glad to hear you say that, because I think that's something a lot of people really needed to hear. Because, especially with Florida is so oversaturated with conventions now, and especially by these big corporate entities, it's nice to actually know that Spooky really is committed to the fans, and they're committed to keeping things, even though we're moving to a corporate location-ish sort of thing, that we're actually still keeping it personal and for the fans, and you're actually looking for ways to make it specifically spooky. That's actually really good to hear.
But see, here's the other thing also on that, is that the other conventions like Wizard World, even MegaCon for that matter, is now sold to a larger corporation. So you've got things like Wizard World and MegaCon is now 4 days long.
Mm-hmm.
So and to see that Spooky has been and is still being run by family.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's that, and to take it to this level, still being run by a family, still says a lot about this convention. It's not commercialized.
Those conventions are just so cold to me. Those Comic-Cons are just so cold, and I get it. They got a lot of money, and they bring in a lot of money, and that's why they have a lot of money. We brought in what they brought in. Dude, you don't know what I could do something amazing for you guys if we were bringing in what they were bringing in.
Yeah.
They're just it's very plastic. When you go in there, it's just here it is, that's it, there it is, goodbye. And I never wanted that. I always wanted that family feel, and I think I've done it over the years. I think we've done it. I shouldn't say I've done it. We've done it. Everybody, like from you guys to everybody that comes to the show, made it that family feel. Everybody's like, everybody's like very like, hey, how are you? My name is Joe. Blah blah blah. And shake the person's hand. Here's a beer. Here's this. One of my favorite stories about going to our show was when we had David Arquette, and he went.
Last minute amazing guest. Yes.
He went around the pool and he introduced himself to every single person around the pool. And people were giving him drinks. They were giving him illegal drugs. All kinds of stuff going around the pool. And by the time he got to the end of the pool, he was wasted and he was crying. And somebody helped him get to his room. They brought him to the front desk and said, hey, can you tell me his room so we can get him to him? And he was crying because he didn't know where he was because he was that drunk. But it was the family feel that everybody was like, hey, join us, hang out with us. And I think that's what brings, a lot of celebrities do come to our show that are not signing autographs,
I still have pictures from that night, actually, with David Arquette.
Yeah, that was a great night.
It was. No, and actually, Dino actually chimed in. He just made a really good comment. No matter how much money you throw at it, it won't make the convention fun. That's very true, and that's the difference. And he's absolutely right. It's actually a really, really good thing.
Money helps.
Money helps. That's true. That's true. No, you're absolutely right. All right. The last question, because we're going to slowly start wrapping this up. What is the biggest thing you want people to know about October and the move to the convention center?
We're still spooky.
That we're still Spooky Empire, and the parties wouldn't be lame if you say it's lame. You make the parties. Like, you are the guys who make the parties. If you come to the party and go, this is going to be lame, well, dude, it's going to be lame.
Yeah.
So, like, you're the guys who make it what it is, and, that's what it is. We do the same thing. We have the DJs. They're playing the same music. We give you the space. Sometimes we don't have a pool, but I could get a blow-up pool. We could put it anywhere.
Ball pit in October.
Oh my God! That'd be amazing. And about
October, that's it.
We wanted to do that at the Hyatt last year. We were going to put bounce houses, but the insurance. It's all about insurance.
That's it. I have a mission. There needs to be a
That one
bounce house.
haunted house they had that one year was awesome. The haunted house that was
The
inflatable.
one
Oh my
that
god,
had, it looked like you were coming out of a vagina? Yes.
yes, vagina. That one, yeah.
It was the vagina haunted house. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but yeah,
that's
that's all. I just want. It's still Spooky Empire. It's you guys. You guys make it what it is. So if you come into it going, this is going to be lame, it's going to be lame. You know. If you go in and say, yeah, we're going to have a good time, you're going to have a good time because the drinks are there, the music's going to be there. You know. And that's it. I'll be DJing Saturday night for at least an hour. There'll be good music.
If you don't put that DJ Lance Rock outfit on, I swear to God, we're gonna have problems.
I want to do that for you. I can't find it right now. I will find it one day.
Kickstarter. That's it. Kickstarter. No. Well, then you know what? Well, then I formally request that this come back.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, man.
The lunchbox and everything. Come on, man. It needs to come
That's
back.
a lot of work. My brother put it on the video for the loop. You know?
Oh, did he really?
So that was so everybody saw the Jenny Jones show on the loop, in the hotel rooms, and that was like everybody's like, "What the hell is that?"
That is your con organizer right there. Let's see. Don't do it like Tumblr Con with a kiddie pool with balls in it. It was roundly made. And Dino, that's exactly why we're going to do it. There's going to be a little ball pit. We're totally going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll do it outside my hotel room. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So I mean, what is the biggest complaint you've gotten about people moving to the convention center? I mean, I know that every time the spooky changes, people bitch.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. People don't like change, and the thing is, change grows. You know, every time we've changed something, it's grown. You know, the Hyatt last year was, for me, it looked amazing. We had an amazing guest list. Everything ran really well at the Hyatt last year, and I just that's what I'm saying. People were complaining, oh, we're going to this corporate Hyatt, it's too nice for us. No, we're okay with nice, man. Just treat it nice, you know. Don't punch holes in the wall, you know. You know.
Yeah, that totally did happen. You should have a live green screen setup. What do you mean a live green screen setup? I think we have live green screens.
There was 3 at the Wyndham. There's 3 of them.
Yeah. So yeah, no, they have live green screen setup. So that's something we got handled.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, Mike, Robby, is there anything, since we got Petey here, is there anything that you wanted to ask him or anything you wanted to say before we wrap this up?
No, I put in my bid for Kevin Grievous, and as long as I get my bid out.
I got my list that I'm going to give him privately. He knows Udo Kier, and I've got my whole list that I want. Joe Manganiello, I want him. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, we want him too, but yeah, that's not happening anymore.
God damn it!
He got married to somebody that has lots of money. You know.
Oh yeah, he got married to hot chick. That's right.
I don't get any of my requests, man. I would like to see some people do that.
Okay, well, who would you like to see?
Who would I mean, I would love Paul Stanley to come. That's like
goal
of mine. I would love to have him. Gene Wilder. That was somebody I really always wanted.
Oh.
You know?
I would lose my mind.
We were real close at the Willy Wonka reunion thing.
Roxana said she wants Sigourney Weaver.
Yep. We got a Sigourney Weaver vote.
She's just expensive, and she'd be an $80 autograph. And, like, do you really want to spend, you know, that would be a whole Nev Campbell thing, you know?
Yeah.
Is she nice? I don't know, you know, but when you pay $80, you want someone to be, you know, Alice Cooper was an amazing guest. I mean, $40 and you got to talk to him, and it was just an amazing guest, you know, for $40. You know, you don't get that all the time. And when you bring in, like, these major guests, they want, like, $80, $90 for an autograph. People don't have that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Tanner just chimed in, and he just said, what about Matt Groening?
Matt Groening. Oh, from the Simpsons.
Matt Groening, Simpsons.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess, oh yeah, now, sure enough, now that we say guest request, now people are chiming in left and right, of course.
Hey, at least people are watching. I was always worried. Like, I usually watch your show the day after. I never watch it live.
No, we got a dozen people watching right now.
Oh, that's cool.
I reposted.
Yeah, like I said, that's why if there's anything that you want to say to the spooky fan base right now, by all means, you know, this is your forum, man.
Oh, we just started an event page. That's a good thing.
Just a half hour.
Just go on the event, go on the Facebook event page, and say you're going. Just
Okay.
We need we just need your support. Like get on Facebook and get on our social media, post your pictures, tell people what you want, talk about it, say yes, I love this, I hate this. Dude, I mean,
don't say I hate this because then you're gonna get PD yelling at you.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I want to say. Like, if I disagree with you, who cares? Who cares if I disagree with you, man? Just say what you. I'm gonna give you my piece. Don't think I'm an asshole because I'm disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you how it is. And if you disagree, that's cool. And that's what the world's about, man. We can't all like everything.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times PD's disagreed with me. He's yelled at me like dozens of times over the years. So
that's what it's all about. I don't hate you because you disagree with well, this is lame. Well, why was it lame? And then give me a good excuse.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, let's see. Mike 86 Mustang said I would die to see Paul. Everyone would die to see Paul. Okay, from Dino. Petey, thank you for jumping in like this. It proves that the con is actually a family event. It takes a lot of love to set aside your time like this. Aww. Group hug.
There you go.
Yeah. Aww.
That's so funny.
All right. Well, Robby, is there anything you want to chime in with before we wrap this up?
Well, I think you guys covered it pretty well. The only thing, the costume contest, if we can have a horror category, that would make me like super happy.
Yeah, I don't think we need a horror.
Just to separate
with you. I don't think we need a horror category. We just need the horror people to win.
You heard it there from Petey, you guys.
Yeah.
I was really happy when the Beetlejuice guy won. I love that.
John?
I'm gonna try.
John and Eric.
My complaint about the costume contest is we need more unique costumes.
And one thing, wow.
I'll tell you who
wow us.
Who I always feel should get and doesn't. The lady that comes with her son that's in the rolling bed. Yeah, him. Yes. She came one day. He came one day, and his whole thing was, it looked like a cemetery, tombstones, the whole bit. He just went over the top.
I love that so much.
That was great. And then there was another time where, what was it? They came as the mother and the baby, and he was a demented baby in the stroller, and they just go all out. And I'm always surprised that nobody mentions them. I mean, or an honorable mention at least.
Yeah.
Like I said, that one year that they did the cemetery, you looked at it and you go, I didn't realize at first that he was, I think he's a paraplegic or quadriplegic. Yeah. I didn't realize that because of how that costume looked, because he built it into, what he rolls around in every day. And I was like, holy crap.
See, I like the simple costumes, man. Like, there was this girl who's dressed up as the birds, and she had all these birds attacking her.
That was creative. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like the more creative stuff that's not as, like, detailed. Like, that's what I would like. If I was a judge, that's what I would.
More old school. Yeah.
I just
simple, well done. Yeah.
I thought the guy dressed up as the Spooky Empire logo, that was pretty unique,
Yeah. Oh, so this means my sexy PD cosplay will be accepted into the costume contest, right?
Well, dude, there was years ago someone dressed up as me for the costume contest, and like he didn't even get in the finals, and I was like,
I remember that.
That was kind of cool. I was like, I would have picked that. I didn't know who he was. They're like, who's that guy?
I was talking like sexy PD. I'm like, with the girls all out and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, female sexy PD. That's. I'm thinking about it.
I always ask my daughter to dress up as me and do interviews.
Oh God.
She won't do it. But like I was like, that would be so cool. You wear the Yankee hat. She was, Dad, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. She's like, Dad, go away. Dad, go away.
Yeah. going on.
Okay, yeah. And Dino says an unbiased judges. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. You know, the judges, that's something else. So
They're different every show, so
exactly.
you should be getting a different thing. Oh, you guys talked about let's get more into the costume contest, which is what you guys are into anyway.
Okay.
Your last show, you were talking about how they have it should be a rule that they don't dress the same way at other conventions and then dress at ours and can win at every convention. See, we don't know that because we don't go to the other conventions.
Exactly. I don't know how there could be some sort of network between like some of the staff that actually runs these.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't find out until it was funny because actually my son Julian, he was in the audience and I was sitting next to him and he actually saw the steampunk couple that won. And he even said, and it was absolutely adorable, he says, if they win, I swear to God I'm going to riot. You know, my 9-year-old, sure enough, they won. And he's just sitting here going, oh, God. And he was genuinely upset because he saw them win at Conjure. And so, I mean, but that's something that, and I think that could be prevented, like I said, if there's a form, like a pre-entry form where you say, has this costume won at any conventions in the past 6 months? I think that could, I mean, of course they could lie, but I mean...
Well, they can lie, and also the thing is, our costume contest isn't big enough yet that we can do that.
That's true. That's true.
Prizes.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, and no, Mike 86 Mustang. He said, "I dressed as you last October." Oh, it's Mike Paquin. Mike Paquin, actually, the one that dressed as you last October. He's watching.
Cool.
Yeah,
what were you saying about Sunday? You were.
Oh, that I was saying, is it possible because maybe the costume contest is on Sunday? So maybe as many people.
But that's the best time for it, just because Friday you're opening the show, so you don't want to do it on Friday. Saturday you have too much stuff going on, so it would get lost. And Sunday's the best day because it brings people back in on Sunday.
Yeah, I understand why he does it then.
Sunday, it's always a goodbye to the show.
Yeah,
right.
It's been traditions for forever. Yeah. Oh,
I really liked the crazy costume contest we did on Saturday night. That one I just threw together.
Party.
Yeah,
I like that. Like I would do that again because that was fun. And just pick people randomly, come on stage. Do you like this costume? Yeah, you liked it, and it was that.
Yeah,
I thought that was fun.
Yeah, well, that's definitely an audience favorite. You know, that would be an audience pick, which is cool because that way everybody gets a say.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh my God, Petey is so freaking New York. You cannot escape your heritage. I don't know why that's surprising.
I've been living in Florida since 1989, so I don't know.
Yeah, he came down here the same year I did, actually. But all right. So but I think that about wraps it up because we're running long and it's like 11:20, and I think we've nailed everything. But no, Petey, if you'd love to come back and do this and do another round,
it's fun.
We're in, man. We are totally in. All right. I think we've answered all the questions. And as far as the Hyatt Hotel, there's all the booking information, the price, all the past webcasts we've done on the Hyatt.
You guys had a question about the price, why it's $120. Well, dude, you're not getting $99 anywhere. And
no, you're not.
The reason why we actually went to the Hyatt is because the DoubleTree wanted to up us to 120, actually 120 at the DoubleTree, and I said, you guys are not even worth $99.
Yeah.
And, the Hyatt said, well, we'll take you, and I said, really? You know, we didn't even think, you know.
TV in the bathroom.
You know, yeah. I mean, we loved. I mean, the Hyatt's just awesome altogether. They just need to get to know us. That's all it is. They just
Fair enough.
You know, and that's with every hotel. If you know what we had to deal with the Wyndham this year, what I was screaming and yelling this year. I mean, you guys worked Conjure, and I know Conjure had all these rules. Well, they tried to put those rules on me, and then I started screaming. You know, yelling at them. You know, going, dude, dude. If you heard some of the stuff I said, I was like, I love the Wyndham. I was like, I love the Wyndham more than anything. You might not even have a job here next year, but I love the Wyndham. You know, so I will take care of that place. I will never let this place, you know, get wrecked or whatever. Like, they have to like give a little trust, you know. and that's all it is. It's negotiations, and when you negotiate it. But the reason why it's 120 is you're not getting that anywhere, and
That's
for
true.
the high end, $120 is amazing.
That's a steal.
They want like $200. When you go to Dragon Con, it's like $300 a room, $250 a room. You know?
Dino just said 120 a day for a hotel room in Orlando. That's dirt cheap. Appreciate it, bitches. Yeah, no, Dino, you're absolutely right.
And
Well,
it's tough.
even that, if you try and book one of those rooms without using the spooky price, look at what the prices are.
Oh yeah,
Cheapest
it's
price
double
is
that.
like it's like $199.
Wow.
You know,
The Wyndham wanted 130, and I was
No.
screaming at them. I was like, "You got to be kidding me! You guys are like, you guys are not the. Well, the Hyatt was blah blah blah. And I was, you're not the Hyatt.
No, you're not.
You know what I'm saying? Those rooms are just a paint job from the old. You know.
What's happening on the floors?
No, the walls are literally like that thin. So yeah.
But they do have something nobody else has, and that's Gatorville. And that atmosphere is just better
That's
than
true.
any other.
That's still not worth like 130 a night. No.
No, it is. But that's why we would have the convention. They were like, "Well, why are you here?" I go, "Because of that pool area." Now they didn't want us to have the party at the pool.
Oh hell no. See,
They wanted
that's
us to
a
put
problem.
it in a ballroom, and I said, "Why would people come to Florida to sit in a ballroom? You know, they want the palm trees. They want the atmosphere. No one's going to go in that pool anyway. There was 4 people in the whole pool,
Mhm.
but you know,
That's
they were,
my concern.
you know,
And that's just one last thing I want to interject, because a lot of people are complaining that's like, oh, well, we're not going to have the pool party. We're not going to have the pool party because the Hyatt party last year was in the Hyatt as opposed to at the pool. Here's the thing, and Petey's absolutely right, and I was saying this very thing last week. Y'all are bitching about wanting a pool party. Y'all had a pool party. None of you were in the pool. I was there all damn night. None of you people were in the pool. Stop bitching about a pool party if you're not going in the goddamn pool. So there, drop mic.
but yeah, that's it.
That's true. All right, we are going to wrap this up. Thank you very much, Petey, for joining us. Thank you, everybody else, for joining us. Like I said, subscribe button, playlist, blah, blah, blah. $19.99, and here's how to order.